What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Today, I think I'm going to title this "Good Grief, Facebook is a Dumpster Fire." Um, I was every time I post over there, I feel like I regret it, and it didn't always used to be that way. And so I was going to kind of just give you some inside baseball, little random rant, not necessarily rant, but just I don't know, give you an idea of. Um, why we are on the platforms that we're on and why we focus on them, because there is a reason, right? And I do, and Facebook, for example, does have a purpose, and I do use it, but not for what you would think. So um, I guess it really goes back to when we first started this deal. um, I wanted to do social media based marketing. I mean, it's the way the world is. And I knew that, 11 or 12 years ago. I came out of print because I was in the dirt bike and power sports industry making dirt bike parts. And then I had a cell phone repair company. I was one of the first people to do that in the United States, like in 2008. So, um, and I knew that coming out of dirt bikes, because we were doing a bunch of stuff in like a dirt bike magazine, Dirt Rider, like writing articles and all that kind of stuff. Um, I knew that was kind of on its way out, and I was like, you know what, social media is going to be it. So let's do YouTube, because I come from a video background. My dad worked for public television for many years, and I've been behind a camera and on a mixing board all my life. Like we had a recording studio when I was a kid. Like I've been doing the production side of stuff for a long time, so it was very natural. Obviously, the level of production has improved over the years. Um, Not this channel. This channel is just kind of sit in front of a webcam and chat. But you know, the Dylan Tux Tone main channel, the production's gotten better over the years and stuff, just because we've been able to buy nicer equipment and whatever. Um, but when we first started, I really leaned into Facebook because Facebook was replacing like all of your forums and stuff. So like the gear page, and I come from other industries too. I've been playing guitar and around the guitar stuff all my life because of my dad, but um, I have other interests, and so adventure rider forum, for motorbike stuff. The Jeep forum, I had a Jeep. I've had a bunch of Land Rovers, so all those Land Rover forums back in the day, that's where you would go, and you would, obviously look at the threads and you would learn stuff and whatever. Well, then Facebook groups started to kind of take over, and I realized that there was big audiences in these Facebook groups, and so you would hang out in there and stuff, and just chat with people and not spam, because you couldn't really do that, and it's not nice to do that, but you would just have conversations, and it was cool. And actually, some of you who are probably watching this right now is how I met you, is in Facebook groups, 8, 9, 10 years ago, 11 years ago. Um, but I would say, not to get political with all this stuff, but I would say in 2016, the 2016 election uh, is the one that really changed it. And then it really started to get, a lot more politically driven, not by the platform itself, maybe by I don't know. I don't get into all that, argument, but because I don't want to argue about that stuff. But you understand what I'm saying? That time frame, and a lot of politically charged conversations, a lot more division, like a lot of that kind of stuff. Um, it just started to get more and more negative, and so I kind of shied away from it. Um, and so we really leaned into YouTube, picking up TikTok more now, picking up Instagram more now, more strategically, with short form videos and stuff like that. Because that short form video stuff is fun to make and it's easy. So I'm trying to put that stuff out every day. Hey, Bubs, what are you doing? What did you just eat? Hopefully, it was something that you were supposed to eat. Anyway, yeah. So Facebook has kind of fallen by the wayside because every time you post something, I posted yesterday that I got because I got a new car. So we got a we had a bunch of problems with the AC on our we had a 2024 S5 and Audi S5, and the AC started goofing up with it and blah blah blah. We had to get um, all involved in it and whatever. Well, my buddy's a general manager at a dealership, so Audi dealership, so he helped me work through it, and they ended up giving us a bunch of trade credit and a bunch of other kind of benefits that go along with it. And I was like, well, shoot, Leslie wants an SUV anyway, so we switched into it, So you post on Facebook, right? That it was just like, hey, new car day. New car day is cool. It's fun. And all of a sudden, people are like, nobody can be positive. Everybody has to figure out some kind of way to be negative. I mean, it's just, way to tell your customers that you're getting rich off of them. Like, come on, dude. I'm buying a family car for my family. We have a grandkid now. Like, I didn't even know it had a third row seat until yesterday, but that's going to come in very handy for what we do. Like, I'm a grandfather now, which is sort of wild, but that's where we are, So, humongous station wagon is basically what I just bought. And so, just the negativity is just so everything is so negative. And people will jump on Facebook and, they'll be like, well, you trigger people. You're constantly trying to cause trouble. And lately I've been on this thing where I've been asking questions like, why would you not buy a Fender? We just did a podcast about that. I did one, why would you not buy an Epiphone? Somebody asked me, why are you going to ask us why we wouldn't buy an Audi? And I'm like, no, I don't care about that. Honestly, what I'm using it for, I don't want to trigger anybody. Triggering is this. I don't like that word, by the way. Triggering to me needs to be reserved for folks, for the mental health space, for traumatic experiences in life, like that kind of stuff, PTSD, like serious things. To me, that's what I don't want to trigger someone in those senses, because I think that's a very serious thing. I have family members that have to deal with that kind of stuff, and so you don't want to do certain stuff around them. You don't want to talk about certain stuff around them. It's a real thing. So the word trigger to me is stupid in the context of Facebook and social media and that I don't like it. So it's not what I do. Do I want to create conversation? Absolutely. Because I feel very differently about social media. A lot of people will say, well, that's just the internet. Have you ever been on the internet before? Well, the internet's people talking, right? And I have had people tell me, I'm not really like that. I'm just like that on the internet. And I'm like, no, you are really like that. You just don't want to admit it in person. So my purpose for using the dumpster fire that is Facebook now, and some of the other platforms like that, is to see what's really on people's minds, right? Like, and it gives me ideas for content, because when people, they don't think they're being themselves. They think but people are who they are, right? Like, it's pretty hard to, especially behind anonymity, it's very difficult, or it's very easy to accidentally show who you are. So, I like that. I don't get upset with negative comments. I don't get upset with any of that stuff, because I think it's neat. I think it's cool to know who somebody is, even if I don't like that person, even if that makes me not like that person, even if it makes me not want to do business with that person, even if it makes me like, I don't care if you never watch one of my videos again. That's okay. I know who you are. I got you pegged because you were a jerk, and now I know. So that's why I don't delete comments on YouTube. That's why I think it's really, for me, it's healthier to just be like, I know who you are. No big deal. I'm not upset by it. I think people, they tend to think that they're like, I don't know, well, you're easily triggered. And there's that word again. I'm like, no, not at all. I am entertained by the majority of the negativity. And I also use what I see, positive and negative, on Facebook to formulate content, because they are real people. You know, Facebook is people talking. The internet is people talking. So, what are they talking about? How do they feel? What are the real interests with Fender? Like, why would they not want to buy Fender? I love them. So the people that don't like them, do they have a real reason for it? And then spin it around to be positive. Like, you know, you don't like this thing about Fender? Well, guess what? Fender fixed that with this, and this model. Like, spin it around and just be like, So that's what I use it for. Instead of getting caught up in the negativity of certain parts of social media, it's like, you know what? Use it as a tool, and use it as a gauge of what's going on, and use it as an inspiration in some ways, not totally, but sort of, for content. I think it's really cool. And I know there's a lot of people that don't like that. And I really think it's because if you force somebody to be honest, they don't like it. If you force somebody to, or recognize, if you challenge somebody, their belief systems that they don't actually have, they just say it because somebody else said it, they don't like that. If they feel convicted by something, when I say, if you sold 18 of your Harley Bentons and bought one Gibson, you'd probably be happier, and they don't like that, because it's true, but they don't want to admit it. Those kinds of things. It's not in any intentional way to upset anybody, but it's the truth. Sometimes the truth, you don't like hearing it. Whatever. But anyway, that's kind of the thing. I think it's kind of funny, because I know a lot of people in this space and some other spaces that I'm involved in, firearms and pocket knives and some other stuff I'm involved in, feel the same way. That Facebook is just kind of a dumpster fire, and they don't invest a lot of time in it. I don't really make any money from Facebook. If you found me on Facebook and started buying pickups from me, let me know. But I bet you didn't. I bet you found me on either YouTube or Instagram, because it's just not. It's just not productive for that, but it is productive to know what people are thinking. So it's helpful. Anyway, there's a little late night rant. It's like 11:39, and yeah, there you go. Little late night rant. I figured I would share that with you. I might share this actually on Facebook. Yeah, it'd be kind of funny. Anyway, thanks for hanging out. Like and subscribe to videos if you like this format and just kind of hanging out with me on this channel. Of course, we'll do the week old comments next week with the new other videos and stuff. Thanks.